Welcome back to the Bear Down Podcast on NCAA Football 14, guys, a.k.a. College Football Revamp, where it's all about everything Arkansas A&M. And our Black Bears are sitting at 7-0, number 2 in the country right now, coming off a tough week of games, man. In today's video, we'll look back at the week, at the couple of games that we played. Also, you already know, man, got to look at the top 5 plays from the week and an update in recruiting. Big week for our Black Bears, so make sure you guys go ahead and smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are brand new. So we start things off with the thriller in Stark Vegas, man. Our win over Mississippi State. Sheesh, talk about sweating it out, 35-31. We were trailing at halftime, 17-14, and 21 points in the second half is what helped us win this game. Mississippi State took a late lead in the fourth quarter, but a deep ball to Albert Flowers, 22 yards to the house, is what won the game for us, and we walk out of Stark Vegas with the W. Taking a look at the stats from the day, the passing game was non-existent. 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for Gabe Perez. He was sacked twice. This Mississippi State defense is tough, and they played us tough against the pass. Our run game is what carried us. Philip Fagan continues to have a monster year, 27 carries for 152 and 3 rushing touchdowns. Gabe did have a rushing touchdown as well. AB had 5 carries for 21 yards. Out wide, the true freshman Flowers led the way, 4 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. And he had Ashton Ryan 3 for 52. Will Rogers 3 for 29. Justin Harris 3 for 43. Mike had 2 for 30, and Phil had 1 catch for 10 yards. I'm not going to lie to you. The defense, I was very disappointed in how they played. We could not keep Williams contained, and it was just ugly. It was just ugly. David Sims, 7 tackles, 2 TFLs. Caleb Walker finally came alive, 6 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 3 sacks. James Ramirez, 2 more interceptions in this game. Then you had Jermaine Coco with an interception. I think the turnovers is what helped us win this game. The 3 interceptions. Coco also had a sack. But when we take a look at the stats from this game, man, it was just ugly for our Bears. We gave up 176 yards on the ground, 322 yards through the air. They were 6 of 12 on third down, 2 of 2 on fourth down. But again, it was a turnover battle that won the game for us. We forced 3 turnovers. They were all interceptions. We were able to capitalize off of that and get the W. If you look, we did hold the ball for over 18 minutes. That's more of our speed. But again, too close for comfort. We get the dub. The undefeated season stayed alive. Then the team woke up playing against Auburn, winning this one 42-17. This was a great team win for our Black Bears. It was all about the running game. Philip Fagan had a monster day, but the defense had an even better day. We'll take a look at those stats here in a second, but as you can see, 7 in the first, 14 in the second, 7 in the third, and 14 in the fourth to close it out. 23 of 36 for Gabe Perez, 268 and a touchdown. Again, the passing game against these SEC teams is just non-existent. We've got to get Gabe going. That's the only way we're going to be able to continue to win these games, is if the passing game helps out the running game. But Philip Fagan, what a day. 34 carries for 241 yards and 4 touchdowns. He was a man. He was a man. He put the team on his back, and he showed why he should be the Heisman Trophy winner this year. And as you can see, nothing else really got going in the run game. AB had a touchdown late, but, I mean, Powers had negative yards. Perez had negative yards. It was all about Philip Fagan this week. Receiving game, Mike Warren 5 for 72. Will Rogers 5 for 51. Fagan had 3 for 11. Flowers 3 for 32. Justin Harris had the lone receiving touchdown, 3 for 53. Ashton Ryan 2 for 27. And Holloway got in the game, 2 for 22. Very proud of the defense. They stepped up in a major way against this stubborn Auburn offense. Auburn has a very good run game. We held their star running back to only 128 yards. David Sims led the way, 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack. Then you had down here Caleb Walker, 3 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 2 sacks. Bo McGee had an interception. Garrett Anderson had a sack as well. We just played stingy. The defense showed up in a major way. We needed them to have a big day, and that's what they did. Let's take a look at the team stats. We held their passing game to only 161 yards. They were 3 of 8 on third down, 149 yards on the ground. They were 3 of 3 inside the red zone. We did force that one turnover, but this is more like I like to play. We held the ball for 21 minutes, only allowing their offense to be on the field for 10 minutes. So great job by the Black Bears. We get 2 wins, important wins this week as we look to keep things moving in the SEC and head towards that SEC championship. So we get our first look at the BCS rankings, and our Black Bears are the number 1 team in the country. About time we got some respect, man. We're 7-0, but right there behind us, Michigan. They're 7-0 as well. They beat the Terps last week. Florida State still undefeated in at 3. Nebraska is 4, undefeated as well, and Texas is 5. They're undefeated at 6-0. You got Notre Dame in at 6. Washington is 7. Stanford is 8. Indiana, a surprise up here in the top 10. They're 5-1 in at number 9. And Florida rounds out your top 10. You got Auburn in at 11. Pittsburgh in at 12. Michigan State is 13. Akron is 14. Undefeated Akron at that. LSU, who we play this week, in at 15. You got Georgia State in at 16. They're undefeated at 5-0. Missouri is 17. They're 6-1. Arizona is 18. You got TCU in at 19. Ohio State in at 20. South Alabama is 21. Penn State in at 22. Fresno State is 23. West Virginia is 24. And Tennessee rounds out your top 25. Now, as we look at the other polls, our Black Bears are number 2 in the coaches poll. I'm not sure how the coaches poll works because we are 12 points behind Michigan, and we've had more competition. We've played more competition than Michigan has played. So I'm interested to see how this is going to what's going to happen at the end of the season. As you can see, the top 5 teams all undefeated. We got Michigan in at 1, our Black Bears 2, Florida State is 3, Nebraska is 4, and then Texas is in at 5. When we switch over to the media poll, the media is showing us love. We're the number 1 team in the media poll. Then you got Michigan, Florida State, Nebraska, and Texas. The end of the year, man, this is going to be a fun race. If all 5 teams could go undefeated, this should be interesting. It's going to come down to strength of schedule. It's going to come down to points. It's going to be an interesting end of the season. I'll say that. Time to take a look at the SEC rankings right now, and we're the number 1 team in the SEC. No shock there. 5-0 in conference play. Right behind us is Bama. They're 4-1, 4-3 overall. Florida is in at 3. They're 4-2 in conference. Auburn is 4. They're 3-2. South Carolina 4-3. They're in 5. LSU is 6. Kentucky is 7. The Razorbacks are 8. Georgia is 9. Ole Miss is 10. And you got Tennessee and Georgia Tech. Vandy and Mississippi State. I'm shocked by this. I'm shocked because they played us a lot tougher than a lot of teams have this season. So for them to be 0-4 in conference, 2-4 overall, it's a bit of a shock. But things are going to get interesting because we played Bama the last game of the season for us, and the SEC West is going to be on the line that day. If we win that game, we go to the SEC championship. Now, if we lose that game, Bama secures their trip to the SEC championship. So we've got to play focused football the rest of the way, and we can't lose any more games. We can't lose any games. We have to stay undefeated. So let's check out the season stats so far. Gabe Perez, big year, man, 1,932 yards, 19 touchdowns on the season with only 2 interceptions. I honestly thought going into the last couple games that Gabe should be on the Heisman list just because of his numbers. But honestly, I don't think he's been playing at the Heisman caliber that he can play at. I know we're playing a lot better defenses this year, but only having 1 touchdown pass or only 200 yards, that's just not how this offense operates. We've got to be able to move the ball downfield. It doesn't matter who we're playing against or what defense we're playing against. We've got to be able to move that ball through the air. On the ground, Philip Fagan gets another 1,000-yard season, 153 carries for 1,079 yards, 20 rushing touchdowns. I have a feeling that Phil is going to shatter the touchdown rushing record this season, 20 already. I can see him ending the season with almost 1,800 rushing yards. He is just playing at that kind of level right now. Last week going for over 200 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. If he can keep that going this year, it's going to be a special season for him, and he should end it with the Heisman Trophy. Anthony Bryant, 230 yards, 5 touchdowns. I have some concerns. I can't even front. I thought AB could be one of those guys who, after Fagan graduates, he could just step right in and become the next guy in line. But, just seeing how how he runs the ball, he's not Philip Fagan. He's not Corey Gonzalez. So that has me a little nervous going into next season. Powers, 159 yards and a touchdown. Then you've got the quarterbacks, Mitchell with 40 yards and a score. And then Gabe Perez, he's got a touchdown as well. Out wide, Mike Warren leading the team with 28 grabs for 477 yards and 4 touchdowns. Albert Flowers, 26 catches, 520 yards and 6 scores. Will Rogers, 24 catches, 364 and 3 touchdowns. And you got Ashton Ryan, 23 catches, 381 yards and 3 scores. Justin Harris has come on here of late, 11 catches, 245 and 2 scores. Holloway, 8 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. Fagan has 5 for 27. Powers, 4 for 23. Foreman, 2 for 28. Lawson, 2 for 51 and a touchdown. Luke Baker, 1 for 3 and a score. And then you've got Anthony Bryant, 1 for 2. I'll say this about this receiving core. They have really stepped up. Mike Warren has become a great player out of the slot. Surprise, Albert Flowers. When we recruited him last season or this past season, I knew he would be a great weapon for this team. And he stepped into that role that Trey Morgan left and has really played it well. 26 catches for 520 and 6 touchdowns. He's become a reliable weapon for Gabe Perez in the passing game. I would love to see Will Rogers get a few more touches, 24 for 364. I think if he could finish somewhere with like 50 catches for like 600 yards, about 7 touchdowns, we should be good. And we got to get Ashton Ryan going too, man. Only 23 catches for 381. He had a big year last year at his freshman season, but I think because we have so many weapons now that he kind of gets lost in the mix because of the wide receivers and the running game. To the defense side of the ball, we go. David Sims leading the team, 44 tackles, 10 TFLs on the season, and a sack. Nick Ginn, 30 tackles on the year. Then you got Richie Anderson, 29 tackles. Ben Bowen has 24. James Ramirez, 21 tackles. Same with Jonathan Thomas and Jermaine Coco. Bo McGee with 19. Caleb Walker coming on of late, 18 tackles, 10 TFLs as well. Chris Johnson has 16 tackles. Then you've got Trey Turner. He's having a solid year for his junior campaign, 15 tackles, 10 TFLs, and 4 sacks. Phil Anderson has 9. We got Garrett Anderson up the middle with 9. Trey Jolly has 9. And then Donnell Swan has 6. Sack department, Caleb Walker. His last couple games, man, has bumped him into the lead. He's got 5 sacks on the season. Trey Turner has 4. Garrett Anderson with 3. Then you've got Hendricks, Lester, Jolly, Coco, and Sims each with 1. I was thinking that Trey Jolly would be a great defensive end. I thought that offensive linemen weren't going to be able to block him because of his speed. He's got great finesse moves, but he hasn't shown me too much, man. He has not shown me too much. I'm just happy that Caleb Walker has really gotten things going here in the last couple games. He had 3 sacks in one game and then 2 sacks in another. Hopefully he can keep that momentum going for the rest of the season. Turnover department, our cornerbacks are playing lights out. James Ramirez has 6 interceptions right now. Bo McGee has 5. David Sims and Jermaine Coco each have 2. Richie has 1. So does Thomas and Forwarda. Taking a look at special teams, Keaton Holt, 4-4 on field goals this season. We punted the ball 6 times with Ryan Barnes for 231 yards. Kick return game, Marquise Powers, 20 returns for 695 and a touchdown. And in the punt game, 12 returns for 208 yards. And here's a look at your college football leaders. You've got Gabe Perez leading the country with 1,932 yards on the run game. Philip Fagan takes over first place, 1,079 yards. He's got 30 more yards than Coleman from Fresno State. And then you've got Thompson from Oregon. He's the other 1,000-yard back so far through the season. Receiving game, Estes from Florida State having a monster year, 827 yards. And you've got Johnson from North Carolina, 680. Hughes from Indiana, 666 yards. Lee from LSU, who we play this week, 662 yards. Rogers from Maryland, he's got 648. And there's Albert Flowers down there at the bottom, 24th with 520 yards. Here's a look at your tackle leaders. 3 Black Bears on the board. David Sims with 41. Stevens from Northwestern has 29. Nick Ginn has 29. You've got Davis from Auburn. He's got 29 as well. And Richie Anderson, 5th on this list with 28. QB pressure department, Larson from Alabama, 9.5 sacks on the season. Copeland from BYU has 6.5. So does Hollis from Iowa. You've got Thompson from Washington with 6. So does Shaw from San Diego State. Caleb Walker, 16th on this list with 5 sacks. Interception department, 2 Black Bears at the top. James Ramirez has 6 picks. Bo McGee has 5. You've got Martin from Ball State. He's got 5. Ford from FIU has 4. And then Warren from FAU, he's got 4 as well. Now, if I was a Heisman voter, this would be a no-doubter for me. There's only one guy who deserves the Heisman Trophy this year, and that's got to be Phillip Fagan. He's having one of those years, man, where he's going to break the rushing touchdown record. He's going to shatter what he did last year. Honestly, I believe that. He's going to get about 34, 35 touchdowns this year. He might knock on the door of 2,000 yards. If he does that, I believe you got to give him the Heisman. He won every other award last season but the Heisman. I think that it's his this year to lose. On this list right now, you've got Adam Carter, the true freshman from Notre Dame, Brian Green, the senior quarterback from Michigan, Tolbert, the quarterback from Stanford, and then Bailey, the running back from Tennessee. Again, I just don't see how Phillip Fagan loses this. If he continues at the pace that he's going this season, he's going to walk away with the Heisman Trophy, and I believe he'll be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. To say this past week was a fun one is an understatement. A close game and then a blowout win over Auburn. A lot of big plays happened. It's time to take a look at the top 5 plays from this past week, kicking things off at number 5. Twins right, 2 tight ends. And run that counter again. And they run that counter again. We're ready for it. We're ready for it. Let's go, D. Thank you. 4th down. Here's number 4. Oh, we're going to empty the backfield, 5 wide. Oh, get in there, Justin. Touchdown, Bears. Justin Harris with a nasty move on the corner. Stops, makes the grab, turns the corner, and walks into the end zone. I don't know how he did it. We're going to take it. In at number 3, you got to stay in bounds. 4th down. We're going for this. Too close to the goal line not to go for it. And it's Fagan. Straight up the middle. Push into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. 4 rushing touchdowns for the senior out here putting up numbers today. Let's go. Here's number 2. 2nd and 13. It is Hail Mary time. They got 1 at the end of the half. We cannot let them get another one. Knock it down, James Ramirez. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great win, boys. Woo! And the top play from this past week is 1st and 10. They're moving. Come on. No. Come on. There it is. Touchdown. Touchdown. Let's go. Let's go. Albert Flowers. Yes, sir. I said Gabe has something special. Look at that. Never count the champs out. It's always fun to go back and look at those top plays. Now, don't forget, you guys can be a part of this. If you see a play that is worthy of being in the top 5 plays of the week, make sure you leave a comment with the time code, and you never know. Your comment might appear in the next podcast. Now it's time to hit the recruiting trail. Our Black Bears welcome 3 more players to this recruiting class, kicking things off with Dustin Wood, the number 1 kicker from Mountain Home, Idaho, 5'11", 209, 3-star prospect. He's got a booming leg, great kick power. He's got some speed to be a kicker. The accuracy is a little bit lower than I like, but you know what? He's still going to come in and have a solid season for us. We're excited to get him into the fold. The pass rush just got better. Kyle Browning from Florida, 6'3", 249. The JUCO transfer is committed to the Black Bears. And this kid is fast. He likes to bend the corner with that 85 speed, 88 acceleration, great finesse move, can get off the blocks, great tackler. And once he hits you, you are going to feel it. I said it before, and I'll say it again. He reminds me a lot of Kyle Butler, and I think Browning can come in and lead this country in sacks next season. And I think our secondary might be secured, fellas. Anthony Robinson, the number 2 corner from Pennsylvania, 6'2", 187, a 5-star prospect, is now a Black Bear. He has elite speed, great coverage ability, can jump out the gym. This kid is going to be a star in our secondary, and the coaching staff is excited to get him in the fold. I'm excited to have him on the team. He might be one of those players that can play his freshman season. So we head to the top of the recruiting board. Chad Brown is now the number 1 player on our board, the fullback from Mississippi, 3-star prospect, 5'10", 231. I feel like he could come in and play fullback or third-string tight end for us. Then we've got Jack Payne, the athlete from Tennessee, 6 foot, 194. Our lead is over Kentucky right now. It's a 2-team race, and this kid can play a little bit of everything: running back, wide receiver, secondary. We're not sure where we want to put him quite yet. The 94 speed is intriguing. The 89 zone coverage is amazing. He's not that great of a tackler, but he can press. He's got great hands, solid route running, solid carrying and juke, and an amazing spin move. This kid can play all over the field, man. A Swiss Army knife for sure. Then we've got Javon Thomas, the big tackle from Alabama. We're in a dogfight right now between us and Notre Dame for the 4-star prospect. James Edwards, the big guard from Florida, 6'3", 284. Notre Dame, SC, us. It's a dog. It's these offensive linemen, man. We're fighting for these boys. We want to get all these guys on campus. Jesse Beck, we've got a lead over Washington, 6'4", 292, 4-star prospect, the number 3 guard in this class. Donnie Brittain, the center from Louisiana, 6'4", 277. We've got a lead over Texas. And then we added Torian Jack to the board a couple weeks ago, 5'9", 180 from Mississippi, the number 73 running back in this class. And our lead is starting to grow over UCF, Reno, Louisville, and Baylor. So a lot of solid players still on the board, 7 players left. If we can get these offensive linemen to commit, that would be a big get for us. I think that's where our focus has to shift now. We want to keep a great rotation of offensive linemen coming into A&M. I think we've done a great job at recruiting. We've got some guys that are graduating this year. We've got few offensive linemen that will be returning next season. So to keep that momentum going in our recruiting class with more offensive linemen, more defensive linemen, it's a good look for this team. So here's a look at the top classes so far. You've got A&M number 1 overall with 8 prospects, 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. SC in at number 2. They've got 10 prospects already committed. Vandy is in at 3. Mississippi State is 4. Clemson in at 5. You got Syracuse in at 6. Look at Boise State doing a great job at recruiting. 16 commits already. Oklahoma is 8. Auburn is 9. And then BYU rounds out your top 10. So it's time to look ahead to see what's coming up next for our Black Bears. We've got a lot left, man. We've got 5 games left in the regular season, and we've got the SEC championship and a potential bowl game. Listen, this LSU game is going to be a big one. College Game Day is going to be in town, down at LSU for this one. Lee Corso already hinting towards picking LSU to win this game. I think he's looking at what we did against Mississippi State, how we came out against Georgia. When we start playing these upper echelon teams of the SEC, we have to come out early and punch these boys in the mouth. We're getting punched and then having to scrap back. It's time for us to go out here, punch these boys in the mouth, handle business, and get this W. Then we've got Ole Miss. Then we are on the road for the last 3 games of the season, headed out to Jonesboro to take on A-State. Then we head down to Georgia to take on Georgia Tech. And we close out the season at Bama. So a lot of games left, a lot of tough games left. We could potentially go 5-0. We could potentially go 3-2. I've definitely messed with the sliders. I'm using Paramacro's slider set that he uses now, which is going to be stupid tough, guys. This is going to be crazy for us. Here's a look at it. As you can see, we are zeroed out. Zeroed out. It is all going to be based on the players' ratings for us. And then for the CPU, they are maxed out. Almost maxed out. The interceptions we're going to keep at 40 because if you go over a certain amount, it just becomes unbearable to play. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. I think this is going to really help this series out a lot. I think that, we still have some life left in this series. Definitely, I want to get over 10 seasons with this series. And I think messing with the sliders where we don't have like those 63 to 14 blowout games is really going to help this series out a lot. If we take an L, we take an L. I'm going to be disappointed because I hate to lose, but I'm not going to be like, man, F these sliders. But I'm excited to test these out. I played one game offline against the CPU with those sliders, and it was a fun game. I was Ohio State, so, I kind of dominated. But let's see how these sliders react to being in this dynasty with the team that we have going up against the CPUs, the way they build their teams. It should be fun, man. We've got LSU this week. Should be a tough one. Like I said before, College Game Day will be in town. We've got to come out and show why we should be the number one team in the country, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad. And make sure you guys hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come through and join the Discord fam for exclusive content. And we'll talk from the Bayou as we take on the 13th ranked LSU Tigers. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Big thank you to all the members of the channel and the Patreons. If you would like to become a member or a Patreon, hit the links down below in my description.